honestly got to say that I didn't really expect I was going to enjoy the show, but I became such a big fan now that I cannot believe that this was a actual movie, 2 movies, and now there's an actual series that is going on right now. And I'm talking about the Seth MacFarlane Ted series. Listen, I was like everybody else who watched the movie and was cool with the whole weed pot smoking humor and the crudeness and the what is Ted and stuff like that. But now that it's like become an actual series, the way that they've evolved these characters and the level of like comedy that they're bringing to the table that I have not seen in a long time. I haven't seen this type of comedy since, South Park, and the fact that, South Park is doing their thing, but now there's an actual other contender bringing to life like these old school, not so PC jokes that, are kind of funny. Obviously, we're not meant to take serious, but if we're watching just these things on like a non-serious level, they're so funny. It's so amazing the way they kind of go around telling jokes. They have one character who is the cousin of John, and apparently she lives with him, and she's the one who's a little bit more PC, who is a little bit more evolved in the entire family. You gotta understand that they are from the 90s, so they're a little bit unaware of what exactly is appropriate or not appropriate, but that's what makes the series fantastic, is that we are with them, getting to see all the inappropriate natures, all the inappropriate jokes, and they're not afraid to say any of them, as a matter of fact. And that's what I really liked about this, is that they didn't take any punches back, and they were just like, you know what, this is a real family, this is what's going on, and we're gonna tell, some hilarious jokes and some jokes that are not to be taken seriously today. And it's like amazing that they were able to actually pull something like this off. It's not too many times that we get to see series that are adapted from movies that are actually this fantastic, but this time around it really was a good watch. And Ted is an amazing show, and I would recommend anybody to go watch it at this time, especially if you're looking for a comedy at the moment, because I do think that Ted right now is the best comedy show out there, in my opinion. I just feel like it's pushing the boundaries that were set for people, and I feel like it's taking it to a whole another level. And as a matter of fact, the Seth MacFarlane comes back with this whole IP and now is creating this whole world and genre around it. Even if it is a prequel, we're getting to see a little bit of what John went through before the movies, and it's really funny to see because it really get into some hilarious antics that you guys have to go watch in these shows. I mean, one for instance is, Ted goes into one of a professor's house that the daughter is trying to apply something for. She's trying to get a role with this teacher, and this whole time Ted is telling his cousin that, hey man, you gotta be careful because that teacher's trying to, get in bed with you. But in reality, the whole entire time something else happened. I'm not gonna ruin it because you guys should watch it out there, but man, it's so funny, it's so hilarious. Everything is like left turns after left turns after left turns, and it just never misses a beat. And this is what I really enjoyed about this show, is that it never really leaves you like without a laugh, at least every episode, at least for me, at least my type of humor. It's so funny, it's so crude, it's so inappropriate, but that's what makes this show fantastic. And the fact that they even bring Ted, it's not no more about just pot or not getting laid, understanding boundaries, not understanding, social things, but still trying to have warmth into it. And like these characters actually go through emotional phases through the entire show, which I really like. Like, it's not just stuck in comedy. There's actually very heartwarming moments and also very traumatic moments that a lot of these characters go through, and I really enjoyed that there's a level of depth to this. Even though it is a comedy, we can still have some human nature rather than so much cartoony stuff, and that's what I really liked about this show. And I think it's really good. The characters are really well thought out, and Seth MacFarlane really put a lot of effort into here, and you can see a lot of Family Guy references here. You can see a lot of what was learned from them. You can see everything. I stopped watching Family Guy a long time ago, not for any particular reason. I just stopped watching that type of show, and for them to come back and bring back Ted and bring back this whole comedy style like that I've missed so much, it's really good, and it brings a nostalgia factor into me that I didn't realize I was missing. And like I said, there is other shows that have done this before, like South Park, but the fact that we have another contender, we're having another resurgence of this old movie now coming into a live action show is pretty amazing. It really gets to show you how much we used to laugh at things versus what we don't laugh at now. It's really funny that we get to see that transition now. Obviously there's still people today that will laugh at things or will make fun of kind of like little racy jokes at this time, but even then you get to see the level of like, hey, at this time it was still not that good either. And the fact that they get into all these wild antics and get into these wild things it's really fun. And we get into these adventures, and there's a whole arc through the whole entire the series. They go through winter, they go through Thanksgiving break, they go through Halloween, so it brings back that nostalgia factor also of like those old comedy shows, those old like shows you would watch on TBS, Fox, that are going through the seasons, and you're kind of going along with them. And the fact that I got to watch it now that's past New Year's, is kind of funny. You would think that Ted being the main character, you would think that he would be the only one that they would kind of shine on. But in reality, the whole cast was fantastic. Everybody was funny. Everybody was on point. The whole casting was amazing. I really enjoyed it, especially the kid who plays John. Like, he was super hilarious. There were so many funny moments that you guys gotta catch, and everything was so good in this show. And I just didn't expect going into it, especially because I'm not a humongous Ted fan. You know, when I was younger, being smoking pot and being a stoner, we would all love to, you know, watch the Ted movie together. But I wasn't someone who was like, oh my god, I'm such a humongous Ted fan. But now that, you know, the show is out, I gotta say I'm actually really looking forward to what they bring next to the table, because man, if season 2 comes out and they were doing this, I wonder what more boundaries can they push. You know, there was one episode on the show where a car, you know, comes to life, kind of like what Ted went through, and then this car, you know, goes through a whole arc, who was kind of like a Nazi, kind of like, you know, this guy who pent up aggression is supposed to mirror the father. You know, we get to see and reveal why he is the way he is, and just, it's so funny, so hilarious, so many moments like that through the show that you would not even expect. Like I said, it's so many left turns, but so enjoyable, and you just gotta stick along for the ride. It's a lot of good sense of humor that is kind of missed these days, and I hope that people get to watch it and get to see kind of like, you know, what was happening back in the day. You know, I know a lot of people who will watch it would say, oh man, I remember when we used to joke like that, even though it's inappropriate, even though it isn't, you know, necessarily all right. You know, there was a time where we're all learning. Some of us are still learning today, and this show really reflects that. Even with the cousin, you know, who is kind of the, you know, she's more socially aware than everybody else, and, you know, even at times she's kind of doing crazy things, and it gets to show you that even in the first episode they even say that, like, it gets to show you that no matter how PC you get, there's always something you're going to be doing wrong. But at the end of the day, it's just learning lessons and things that you got to learn through time. But yeah, man, I really recommend this for you guys. If you guys have not yet watched the show, go do yourself a favor. It isn't just like the movie. It is actually, you know, it has depth, it has character building, it has comedy, it has everything you could ask for. It has crudeness, it has jokes that you haven't seen in a while, and it has that old like Family Guy feel to it as well. Not necessarily everything from it, but it does have like kind of DNA into it. And that's, well, I'd rather not say Family Guy, but I would rather say the DNA of like Seth MacFarlane. You can really tell how much effort he put into it, and I'm really excited to see if they're coming out with a season 2. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you guys subscribe. We're trying to reach 500 subs, and with your help we can definitely do so. And I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.